Good morning, Congress. Good morning, Congress. Is there anybody out there? Thank you. I want to start with an African lesson. Amansla. I say Amansla, you say Awetu. Now, translated, it means power. Amansla is power, and Awetu means to the people. Okay? So, Amansla. You can do more than this. Amansla. Thank you. Very good. You can applaud yourselves. Excellent. President, sisters and brothers, guests and friends, good morning, Congress. Welcome to the Mother Continent. Welcome to the Mother City. There was one mother missing, sisters and brothers. Mine. I brought my mother from Wales to the Mother City. There are many members of the Jennings tribe here. I would just like to assure you that they come in peace. I think you all know my story. And before you ask, I'm doing just fine. Don't worry about me. This is the voice that I have. You have to bear with me. But after 1 week of air conditioning, it takes its toll on my voice, and I suspect on yours. My task here this morning is to set the scene for debate on the Global Union Breaking Through Work 2010 all the way up to 2018. We've put a clip together. You know that we do these things. A clip of the union face of breaking through. All regions, all sectors. If you see yourself, if you recognize the people in the images, your union, your country, please make some noise. Energy, vitality, commitment, imagination, guts, and solidarity has characterized our work of these last 4 years. It is a great pleasure and pride for me to welcome you all to Africa, a continent of struggle, of sacrifice and courage, to welcome you to this land of struggle, sacrifice, and democratic success, and to a nation reborn. I want to remind you that after all, we are a union hall, a global union hall. And it's important that the people of Cape Town are aware of our presence. So, just to get things moving, I would ask you to rise as a Congress and make some noise to recognize the struggle for freedom in this country. I ask you to rise, to stand, to recognize the people of the Arab Spring. I ask you, to rise, to recognize the people of Burkina Faso. I ask you to rise in support of our unions in Europe who are fighting austerity. I ask you to rise for our unions in the Americas, building a new continent. I ask you to rise and make noise for our affiliates in Asia and Pacific. I ask you to rise for the people of Liberia, of Sierra Leone. Thank you. Thank you. The point is, Uni is here, Uni is alive. Our breaking through decision in Nagasaki has transformed us. No ifs or buts. The South African Freedom Charter of 1955 was a call to action, the people shall govern. Our breaking through plan was a call to action to build our organizing power. It was a call to action, to change the rules of the game in the global economy, from financial regulation to supply chains, to commit to union growth, not to talk about it, but to do it, to grow union rights and influence in business, and to win the fight for gender equality in our own global union. The call to action was adopted, and we have put it to work. The World Executive, Uni-Africa, Uni-Americas, Uni-Asia and Pacific, Uni-Europa, each of our sector global unions working in alignment, single-minded, focused on specific goals. Martin Luther King once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Breaking through lives in that ambition. At a time when the corporate world is coming out of hiding, crawling out of that swamp of the financial crisis, when stock market fever is back, I ask this Congress and all of you, wherever you are, we must not bend. We must not submit to resignation or despair or feel that we do not have the answers. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Come on. Our approach as global unions with Sharon was to say, not just complain about the crisis, to learn from the crisis, to drive home the message that our democracies are not just here to serve the wealthy or for the wealthy to corrupt our political process. The coin is beginning to drop. I want you to agree with me that the trickle-down theory that somehow the rich will share their wealth with us is one of the biggest economic frauds in economic history. Do you hear me? Neoliberalism, market failure, financial failure, climate failure, equality failure. How many failures spell failure? Our theme of including you is our alternative. We focused on inequality. We drew attention to the falling share of wages in the wealth produced, record low. We helped in this organization to create new thinking out there, a new approach to economics that said that our economies are wage-led. And we have been relentless with the ITUC and all our sisters and brothers in the global movement to show once and for all that income inequality is bad for our economies, is bad for growth, is bad for communities, is bad for people. Precarious work, precarious family, precarious community, precarious economy. Do you hear me? Ox, I'm glad when you hear me. It gives me a chance to have a drink. Oxfam have called it even it up. We call it including you. 2 weeks ago at the G20, the IMF, the World Bank, the ILO, and the OECD and other world leaders, from the Pope to the Federal Reserve to the Bundesbank and the Bank of England, seem to be in agreement that this level of greed and inequality is wrong. It is not sustainable. We want to stop this gushing up of economic wealth to the 1%. It's wrong. So we now have this position now where the think tanks and global leaders are saying this level of income inequality is wrong. There was even one of the wealthiest men in the world, and we'll refer to him. He said, even the plutocrats are predicting the pitchforks are coming for them. We should not disappoint. I did an interview with the South African Broadcasting Corporation just 2 days ago. And after this very gentle interview, he concluded by saying, "So, Mr. Jennings, the message is share the wealth or we will burn." And I said to him, precisely. We are beginning to shift that thinking that what we have is dysfunctional. It seems like we're winning the argument. And what I want us to say with confidence and hope and strength and vigor and muscle is that we are part of the solution. We are not written off. That you will not improve the wage share without us. You cannot do it without us. And we have seen, in terms of pitchforks, a massive general strike in Belgium, days of action in Italy, almost 100,000 people in the streets of the United Kingdom, a push for justice at Walmart and $15 an hour minimum wage, pushing in India. And that is why we say, and we say clearly, and it might sound old-fashioned, it might be retro, the workers of this world need a pay rise. So, I say to all of you that the fight is on. The fight for ideas is on. We laid a wreath in Robben Island on the day of the first anniversary of Nelson Mandela's passing. And our message from this Congress and from our global union movement, we are not ready for that wreath. We are alive. We are fighting for wage justice and social justice. But the responsibility that we have is that you will not tip this balance without strong unions. And our breaking through plan was a call for us to be relentless in our pursuit of union growth, globally, in the regions, in the sectors, in alignment, working together and winning. Now you have a report, Organizing Initiatives. We could not have written that report 4 years ago. Believe me. That report is an email. That report doesn't cover the effort and the hours and the struggle that we have had to try and regenerate that push for union organizing and union recruitment. Thanks to all of you, we have a new organizing fund. Don't underestimate what that means. When you have additional resources and you say every penny goes into organizing, it makes a difference. When a union comes to you from Colombia, when the vice president of Colombia comes to you and challenges you to help me change the culture of that country, to end the violence, and then we look at the financial capacity required to get the job done. I'm telling you that organizing fund has helped us in all continents, and I thank you. I want to thank also all those solidarity organizations through Uniscore who provide the means to keep the organizing effort on the move. We acknowledge their support. Please give them a round of applause because they're in the hall. Now, it is not for me, you'll be pleased to know, to go into all of the details of our organizing campaigns. This stage will shortly be filled with people who can tell their stories from different parts of the world, and this will be the face of the Breaking Through project. My appeal to this Congress is that we must keep this momentum moving, that we have to stay committed to union growth, and that our focus until 2018 is on union growth. Breaking Through is also a call to action to grow our influence in the corporate world. We have helped change the rules of the game on human rights in business. New guidelines at the OECD, UN, Ruggie principles, don't underestimate them. New frameworks for investors. We've managed to do this. It wasn't an overnight success, but what it means is we've put human rights into the business equation. We have over 50 global agreements. We have put many new union alliances in place in Asia, in Africa, in the Americas, and Europe. We know those companies that show a fair face to conceal a foul heart. Our action with the world of business is strategic, it's focused, it's informed. How many CEOs have said to me, Philip, it's not true? And then makes the call saying, I regret to inform you that the situation on the ground in that country is as bad as you say it is. And I'm increasingly faced with this question from the business leaders when they say, Philip, we accept what you say and what you do and we look to uni as partners. But by the way, the time is not right to recognize in a union, in a location, when we have a social dialogue at home. And I reject this argument and I need all of your support that when the businesses where you are organizing come along with this message, and we must reply by saying, the time is always right for union recognition. I want to thank those union leaders who we've put on a plane and said, go see for yourself. That's not because there's a lack of trust or friendship, but we say, go see. Go see if you would accept this at home. Some people have had some surprises. I know Lars Anders, who at that time was the president of the Swedish Commercial Workers Union, he's Swedish. He goes to Turkey and he gets thrown out of the IKEA store. Now, Lars Anders is normally a very quiet, personable person, and I'm glad that I wasn't with him on that particular day because he's never forgotten the experience. We are faced with situations where we have to remain loud and not silent when a worker is beaten up, photographs of his home circulated to incite more violence and fragility. We have members of our security unions in the Americas beaten up by the company. They then start distributing tracts in countries which are dangerous, where they become victims. We can't remain silent. They claim that I'm talking BS. We have the evidence. We know these people. We cannot remain silent when a union president is dismissed. And we will not remain silent when workers are abused and dismissed for strike action. An agreement sets new rules, yes, but it does not mean silence when we get things wrong. My message to business, it's live streaming, is that we at Uni Global Union, we mean business. My promise to them and to you is more organizing, more alliance building, more days of action, and more leveraging of our influence. In short, breaking through. We salute the winners of the Breaking Through and Freedom from Fear Awards, a demonstration of guts and leadership. Each of them, all of you in this Congress Hall, have what I would say a Nelson Mandela in you. There are heroes in this room. We have people who struggle each day free from fear. The middle name of Nelson Mandela, and I hope I get this right, was Rochley Khachla. I hope I got that right. Rochley Khachla. Thank you. Now, the translation of Rochley Khachla is troublemaker. It was Nelson Troublemaker Mandela. Am I right, South Africa? Yes. So, I would like to say that at Uni Global Union, we become the good troublemakers. Uni Global Union, the good troublemakers. Do you hear me? Thank you. The motion for adoption today is our statement that we will not be moved from the breaking through call to action. The regions and the sectors are the engine room of our activity. This effort has involved hundreds of unions and thousands of people. Our creation in the year 2000 was a breakthrough. in international union work. Our ways of working are a breakthrough in working methods. We have not stood still. We've changed our rules to win gender balance in our decision-making bodies. And it's clear to us that freedom will never be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. We've relaunched our work in professionals and managers. Our youth structures are alive and kicking. If there was one place and time, in closing, when breaking through faced a test, it was the Rana Plaza factory collapse in Bangladesh of April last year. Jyrki of Industrial, his leadership team, our leadership team with Alka and Christie, on the day after this catastrophe, were faced with a choice: business as usual or change the rules of the game. Could we, aligned, Uni, Industrial, our affiliates, could we bring about change? We did. We changed the rules of the game. We have a legally binding agreement, a first. Independent inspection, a first. Jyrki Industrial are organizing the workers, tens of thousands of them. We estimate to have saved many thousands of lives. We've captured the policy attention from the G20, where I was 2 weeks ago, to the ILO and national governments. I want to say to you that our breaking through experience was key. I'm not sure that we would have attained that summit without our breaking through experience. We did it, we made history, we changed the rules of the game. Thank you. So, the message of breaking through is clear. It's a call to action. We don't accept the race to the bottom. We have alternatives. We need strong unions. We need to build our capacity to organize. We need to rebuild collective bargaining. Basically, you and I want a global organization on the front foot. In closing, I am proud that we are here in Africa. We are committed to Africa. We are breaking through in Africa. We are rising in Africa. The global services sector is on the march, and we are ready with our organizing plans. I thank all of you in this hall for your support. What we are doing is credible and relevant to all of your members. I thank Joe de Bruyn, the president, the regions, the sectors. We have a brilliant staff. We have a hard-working staff. We have a committed staff, and I respect every one of them, as I'm sure that you do. This is a team effort. Thank you for bearing with me. My voice has held up remarkably well. To me, in my life, every day is a new day. It's a good day. It's a day to take joy in the struggle. I live a life of meaning, and I thank you for giving me that chance. To all of you in this Congress, I want to say to you that you lead lives of meaning. It's one of the finest qualities in the life that we can have. We lead lives of meaning. It sustains us, it builds us, it gives us confidence in who we are and what we do. I want breaking through to be irreversible. No changing course. We can change this world. We will win more battles by including you, including all of you, your union and your members in this brilliant effort. As they say here in South Africa, forward ever, backward never. Thank you.